Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all of the features and upgrades that I've made in the cab of my Peugeot partner. So when I bought the van, it came with these seat covers, so the first step was just to take those off. They came off quite easily, they just got caught on a couple of things like the seat belt just there. I don't actually have a hoover at the minute, so I just went to my local petrol station where you can get 5 minutes of using this hoover for £2. I used 5 minutes on the passenger side and 5 minutes on the driver's side, so it came to £4 in total. In a previous life, the van had been used on a farm, so it was actually quite mucky. Even though it's been looked after really well, it's just got debris and mud from living on a farm, so really wanted to make sure I was getting as much of that up as possible before I did the rest of the cleaning. You can see the floor under the driver's side is quite muddy, so really wanted to be as thorough as possible with this bit. I also as well at this point hoovered like the ceiling and the fabric because there was quite a bit of muck on there, and the visors were actually quite mouldy, so before cleaning them I wanted to get off as much as I could using the hoover just to make it a bit easier in the next steps. I actually had a bit of extra time here. You can see me sporadically checking how much time I've got left. So I thought I'd clean behind the seats while I had the extra time. I will clean the back of the van completely in the next stage, but whilst I had the extra time, I thought why not? Thought I'd clean behind these seats. After I'd hoovered them, the next thing was to clean the seats, so I used the Turtle Wax Interior Cleaner. I picked this up from Halfords for around £6. The seats actually had a fair bit of mould in them, so I went to Halfords and I spoke to a really lovely guy and he recommended this stuff. He said it was really good and he'd used it in his van. And I found it really easy to use actually. Like, see, it's just a foam that you spray on the seat, and then it actually comes with a plastic brush attached to it, so you just use that to rub it into the seats. There's actually a couple of times like that where you'll see that I pop it off accidentally. No, I think I was using a bit too much force with it, but it goes straight back on really easy, so it's not a big deal. After you've rubbed this in, you leave it for 5 minutes and then wipe it off with a cloth. So then I went in using the Ultra Grime wipes. I'd seen so many people raving about these, doing van conversions, saying that they're brilliant, so I thought I'd pick up a packet. They were quite expensive. I got them from Wix for £13.50, but I think they were also on sale in B&Q for like £13, which feels like a lot for a packet of wipes, but they are like 4 times as big as any wipe I've ever seen. And even after cleaning the entire front of the cab, I've still got like a whole packet left. So a good investment, I think. Like I say, just really want to be really thorough here. The steering wheel has quite a lot of wear on it, so I've actually got a steering wheel cover that I've put on that as well. I've sped this up a lot because all in all this cleaning took me about 2 hours to do, so I've sped it up so that it's a bit shorter. I did the same thing for the passenger side as well. I just haven't included it to make it a bit easier to watch. But use those wipes all across the front of the dash, all on the floors, any of the bits of plastic all up the sides. I even did the backs of the seats as well. And then this is me going in with a damp cloth after 5 minutes just to wipe off any residue. I didn't think this would actually do anything, but quite a lot of dirt actually did come off at this stage, so I'm glad I did. Then I tackled the visors. Like I say, these were really quite mouldy, and when I pull it down in a second, you'll be able to see like how dark they are really with mould. They were also a really weird material, I'm not sure what, but it was really quite hard to clean. But the wipes were really good for this. I did use a fair few on this, but I wanted to make sure, because they were really quite mouldy, I wanted to get them back as clean as possible. After I'd done that, the instructions on the upholstery cleaner said to hoover it afterwards. So I went back to the petrol garage and I paid another £2 for 5 minutes of hoovering, and I hoovered the entire front of the cab with this, all of the seats. I don't know if it necessarily needed this step, but I'm going to put those seat covers back on the seats anyway, so I thought I might as well do it properly if I'm going to do it once. So you can see I'm just walking around to finish up hoovering that side of the seat. The van did come with a couple of features from the previous owner which have been absolutely brilliant. The first and my favourite is the reversing camera which has been installed. I was so relieved when I saw the previous owners had done this, because it was one of those jobs I really didn't want to have to do, and I knew I would have to. It's wired in, so it automatically turns on when you put the van into reverse, which is brilliant. The reversing camera is an Autovox one. Having a quick look online, it looks like they go for anywhere between £60 to £100. And also, if you are looking to install your own reversing camera, I will drop a link below to a really helpful video that I watched when I thought I was going to have to install my own. So if you are intimidated by that job, definitely check that video out. A couple of the smaller things that came with the van from the previous owner are the seat coverings. They did actually have like bright red racing stripes on them, which really weren't my vibe. And I looked on Amazon, they're only about £30–35 to replace, but with trying to make it a more budget-friendly build, rather than just buy a new pair, I did just sew black panels of fabric over the red racing stripes, and I think they've turned out really well. So I'm pretty proud of that. I will eventually probably want to get new ones, fresh ones, but for now these are absolutely fine. And the last thing that kind of came with the van from the previous owner was this little U-green, I think it's like an aux to USB, but it makes it Bluetooth. It basically means that you can play your music through the stereo on your phone through Bluetooth. I had a quick look on Amazon, it looks like these are around £10. In terms of upgrades I've made to the cab, the first is this leather steering wheel cover. That was because the material on the steering wheel was quite worn, just from being driven for the last 10 years. So to kind of protect the fabric, I bought this. I got it from Halfords, and I think it was around £12 or £13. There were slightly cheaper ones, but this feels like quite a good material, so I'm hoping it will hold up quite well. The second upgrade is a really small one, but it's these little air freshener kind of pointy stick pod things from Yankee Candle. I'm really sensitive to smell, so I know that I like the Yankee Candle ones, and this is a really nice smell. It smells more like an aftershave, and they just poke into the little air vents on the side of the van. I have one either side, and they've been just a great little upgrade. Next, I got a hands-free device to put my phone on so that when I'm using it as a sat-nav, I can see it in front of me. I'd normally put these in the centre, like coming off the dashboard, but obviously I have the reversing camera there, so I've just attached it to the windscreen on the right hand side so that when I'm driving it's not in the way. I got this off Amazon and it was like £7 maybe. It was less than £10, I'm sure. I might have got it on offer, and it's been really good. It stayed on the windscreen, it holds the phone up, you can adjust it to different angles, so that was one of the first things I bought and I've used it every day. The last upgrade is such a small one, but it makes such a difference, and it is these little clips which I've put on the seat belts. On the driver's side, the seatbelt has lost like the circular clip which normally holds the seatbelt bit in place. So every time I took my seatbelt off, the little buckle would fall all the way to the bottom of the floor, which is such a small thing, but it was so annoying having to like put my whole arm down the side of the van. So now with these clips, it just stays in place. I think these honestly might be my favourite ones. And I put the second one on the, I put this one on the passenger side as well. It didn't need it as much, but I figured I might as well use it. And I got these from Halfords, and I think they were like £5 or something for two. That's probably my favourite upgrade, really. So they're just a few upgrades that I've made in the cab to just make the driving experience a little bit nicer in the van. Make sure to check out the next video and like and subscribe below, guys.